how did your Discord start? Like, what made you want to start it? You want to tell me about like some prominent members in the early days, or even now? You can. I'm interested.
I'm trying to remember I can what I can tell you about at that point. So when it came to Tax City initially wasn't Tax City. It was called the Rodimus server years ago. It's a so let me think. The original name of it was the Rodimus server. This was also the original version, the server that we're all in now that has all my stuff in my that you see now. This is actually the second server. This is not the original one.
Yeah.
So because that's how because with TAC founded itself on Discord at in the original server. It was originally just a group of friends on PlayStation 3 where we all had a lot of friends in common, and it was like a gaming clan. It was TACT. It was short for Terrain Adaptive Combat Terrestrials, or TACT as the abbreviation. But yeah, it was originally a server where my friends and I, those from my PvP group, also of the same name, we played Fall of Cybertron or War for Cybertron, the Transformer games, during the PS3 era of console. And then that had now resided on Destiny 2 at the time, Destiny 2, or Roblox, or maybe Battlefield, or Minecraft, or Fortnite. And it was also made during a time way before COVID. I want to say the server was originally founded around the time a lot of people in our community started discovering Discord initially. So that was around late 2017, 2018. That's not when Discord was made, but that's when everybody that we know started like having Discord. So that was when we first found out about Discord.
Okay.
It was during that time, like I was green and understanding a lot of technology at that time between Twitch or Twitter or Facebook or Discord junk essentially. And so I shared the server ownership with another Transformers person. It was a kid named Dead Particles. My admin team now is all still the same people from them, which was like 2018-ish. And they all didn't like him more over time. They didn't like the idea they didn't like the idea of a kid like him having the drunken power effect and not really having upkeep to the server. People just come to me only when it's supposed to be the both of us. But he always had a reason why he's not immediate to answer at all times, which is why, since it had my name on it, despite him being the one in charge, people always came to me, and it was always hundreds of people every day that came to me about something. So, hey, all right, I understand this is one of those responsibilities and shit, but Jesus Christ. Like, why the fuck is this kid not taking accountability on this shit? Like, I am. Absolutely I am. Like, I understand the idea when my name is slapped on the hush puppy. Yeah, that means I have something to do with this shit. But people just come to me when it's supposed to be both of us. He always had a reason. He was also overlooking two other Discords. One of them was a lawless, spam-happy server. No rules existed where that server came from, and there's always that one or two dumbass weekly that comes from that server to my server and causes trouble because they don't know what the fuck rules are.
There's no rules?
The server, one of the servers that he owns, he had a total of 3 servers. The one that we co-own was one of them, and then he has one other music-based server. And then he has another one that has music in it, but it's more just it's just a meme. It's a brain dead server. It's a wild west online. No rules of any sort exist in there. You can invite whatever you want in that server.
Interesting.
And that's why I said to ID some of these people here. That's why I told my senior mod at the time. It's just like he had a blast. It's like if I find out any of these dudes come from that server, I want you to shoot this dude on sight. Don't even ask me why. Just I'll go over it later.
Get him out of here.
Yep. That's why I said no. You got free reigns. I will give you the blicky myself. I don't want to meet those dudes coming in here spamming all that shit or spamming porn and hentai and
What the
cussing and all that extra shit.
fuck?
And I was like, oh no 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 no! Do that the one time. You only got one time. You better get it in because you're definitely gonna be gone. But so I made the rules in my server, and thus was always an issue for passersby because they always assumed rinse and repeat. An issue pops up, I get tagged. Issue resolved. Peace resumes. So I talked with Dead Particles. It was a couple of times like I was frustrated. Then a few more times for convenience, I requested, not asked respectfully, to have full ownership of the Rodimus Discord. I was like, okay, because my mods was also inquiring that too, because she was just like, why if he made the server for you and you both share it, if it's a hassle for him to keep it, why can't he just give it to you? And so the issue was that he kept kind of ducking that process to do just that, so it's easier to micromanage stuff for Rod Discord and the GFAX community, updating for details at that time that people read about that I was doing. It's also less work for him to hard manage 3 servers, and it can be kind of reduced to 2. I even pitched a few times that he could still be a mod here after he wanted to give me the power rather than just be a Discord owner. And while yes, he didn't do anything to my lane per se to help my community or me outside allowing me equal power to the server. It's the principle of still showing respect in a sense while he's still there. I'm
Right.
not commandeering the server or anything. I'm just requesting to own the server you gave me so I can take care of it. I know for him, some of that was threatening in some way, so I had to approach it very calmly and not further. Calmly and not firmly, because I also have to understand the premise I'm asking a kid in order to relinquish a toy. And so my mods then approached me at some point. It was way later on down the line after they got annoyed, a few more instances of the rinse and repeat process. And we had a team meeting on making my own server so they could respectfully see to more things in the community and not always feel like they have to fall back on particles or me to make a decision that they can also do in their own right in my image, respectfully, like what they were hired or volunteered to do in the server, and not feel like they're cut half the manpower because they can't do something for me or look after the server for me without going through him. And it works in the best of the situation, in the best interest of the situation, like how'd I do, or for the server. It's like they're on an odd leash for doing stuff for me or in my best interest.
Right.
And so at first I wasn't sure because I didn't know how well I do with that type of power or control. But Pika, she walked me through how Discord servers are made and managed. And it seemed easy in theory. So when my next request failed after he did consider it in a hard time following an off debate, I stated that, okay, I sought to go ahead and create my own server and take what you taught. He wanted me to stay. I sought to go, and I listened to my team on what was missing here, which I learned was the control and, in a sense, of freedom within reason. And so Pika, AB, and Depressia, or Apex, they made the server for us to relocate from the Transformers core community, and then she just gave it to me. That's this server. 85% of that whole original server came with me at that time. It had a really nice reception of inclusion that week, so the server could be more than a Transformers and a Destiny and a Xenoverse server, because I was playing those games heavy, but I was also transitioning into other games at that time, because I was transitioning into Rainbow Six Siege and Apex, and then delving into Injustice 2. This was back before I even came into the fighter scene. And so it's whatever the server wished it to be. I asked if the community wanted to name the server, and so rather than use Rod server or Rodimus as a namesake, and so a lot of them did from our choices. And so everybody voted on Tact City, since like a lot of the founding mods that were there were also a part of my original clan on the PS3 time from the Transformer video game. And so they decided, why not we just name it Tact City? And so it was unanimous. So we went on ahead and just named it Tact City. That's how Tact City was born.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. Yeah. The whole. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, I know it sounds like a really like wild like goose chase of a story. It's a story.
Man, like we was just on a ride and then we just got there, man. I was like, oh shit. I didn't even like it didn't even feel I don't know, it's cool though. It was cool. That was dope. I've never heard like how someone else's, server started, so I don't have is that okay.
Yeah, that's why like you're the second person ever I really told that story to. The first one was Jack Specs a long time ago, because he was just like, "Damn, that sounds like a hell of a situation to happen with mine." It's just in your situation, it was just a kid that didn't want to relinquish the power because it's just like it's mine. No. Whereas with him, they like damn near commandeered his server, but it ended up actually going the same way because the guy who took it from him was drunk with power and a similar prospect. And he didn't vote himself into power. He didn't vote himself into power when he made a new one. He just earned the people's respect that followed him. And he also believed, and the mods believed that respectfully, no, what it was is that you actually had more power than him because that kid took advantage of you. And yeah, I wish I knew better at the time, but it is what it is. I mean, my team had stopped like the whole leeching effect because I didn't have the confidence, honestly, to realize that I had more power than I realized.
Right.
And so I do owe them for that. They really were looking out for me like family, and they gave us a really great home to live in here for a lot of our online scene and our sanctity here. And I owe Apex and Pika for really giving me that confidence that I just didn't have at that time for some reason. And it was a maturity that I guess had to happen.
Yeah.
One of
Sometimes,
those things
man,
that
you
we learn.
just yeah, basically. So I don't even know where to start at, man.
Well, where do you want to start?
All right, so I got it. So I actually, before the server we have right now, I was running a server with one of my homies, and it was originally just like it was still like a fighting game server because he wasn't a hardcore fighting game player, but he had just gotten to Tekken 8. And I also wanted to get into Tekken because I had just learned how to play Tekken 7. I didn't even really know honestly how to play Tekken 7, but I had just kind of learned how to play Tekken. Like I did my first combo, I started learning how to sidestep and all that. And so, he also got it. We played the game for a while, and I was like, "Do you mind like if I start adding people?" Because originally it was just like us, and it was just us and a couple of my other real life friends. And so he was like, "Yeah, man, sure, we got add people." So, because I was also a mod in there, like I
Mm-hmm.
had like not a mod, but like the one like right above. Like we literally like basically co-earned the server, and so co-owned. There it is. We started adding people, and we all just played like fighting games in there for a little bit. And I actually made the new server because I wanted to secretly lab Sparking Zero, because when Sparking Zero came out, we both also got into Sparking Zero. And hold on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take
So
your
when we
time.
got into Sparking Zero, it was actually a theory that I had in my mind when I started playing him, because he was really good at like a lot of shooting games, but he never played a fighting game. But I knew like when he played shooting games, like he was like really really good. Like he was always getting like the top rank, like no matter what game it was. So I'm like, can my fighting game like prowess and skill beat how good he is normally at fighting games? And so that was kind of like a rivalry for a bit in Tekken. So when we started playing Sparking Zero, it was the opposite effect because he actually only played like anime fighters, like or not anime fighters. I'm sorry, arena fighters like Storm. So when we got into Sparking Zero, it was kind of like, can his 3D game knowledge like trump my fighting game knowledge now? And so that was also just that was interesting for a while. But eventually, um, things just kind of came to a head in a not great way in that server, and I ended up transitioning that server, which was just a hyperbolic time chamber at the time, because that, I don't know, I couldn't think of any names for real, and that sounded cool to me. So I transitioned that server into like one to add people. Like I started adding a couple like chats, and um, I actually was also using that to like hold my YouTube ideas for a while. Like, I don't know if you've ever gotten like ideas for a video and you just don't make the video yet. So you like put those ideas. You probably do, but you just put those
Yeah,
ideas
all the
somewhere.
time. I try and put them, yeah, I either write them down on my note sheet or I try to have like a separate place in my server where I just randomly just log in and I just jot down ideas or snippets of an idea. And then eventually, as long as I have a reference thing to whatever this was, I try to come back and continue cooking with these ingredients to something.
Yup. So I was using it as that too. I still kind of use it as that, but I made this server and, or not made, I'm sorry, but I started the server, and a few people from that server that I had actually like invited previously joined. They had like, they kind of watched it all play out, honestly. And they also, a lot of them just got kicked for like being like, why are you guys like saying this to him, or stuff like that, like, and they would like kick him, and I'm like, wow. So when I made the new server, I'm like, hey, I made a new server, it's just me this time, like, you guys want to join? And they would join. And I'm actually in the future a little bit, so I need to talk about the past even more, because the reason that I was inviting these people to the server, they were not just random people that I knew from somewhere. I want to say 70% of the people at that time were people that I met in ranked or quick play on any fighting game I played. And I was like, yo, bro, GG. And I was like, I got a server. You want to join it? I do YouTube, and we can also, rematch whenever you want. This was before I, like, way before I even did tournaments and shit. But I'm like, yeah, we can rematch whatever you want, and we can play. Because that's just kind of like what I do when I meet someone in a fighting game. It's just, like, when you want to keep playing, But so that's how a lot of people got in the server. And after that, when they joined the new server, I made some of them admins. Notably, I believe Melon is one. Melon's been like, I've literally known Melon in for, I don't even know, like 7, 8 months online, and we just met in uni one day, and I added him. I'm like, yo, bro, like, we should keep playing. I also got a server, yada yada, and so that's just how I meet people. And so when I first started the server, I wasn't even gonna do like tournaments or anything. Like, I just wanted to have all the people that I've played in a space, because there's another thing about me, and that's that when I play people, I always wonder if they could be other good people I've played. Whether they be slightly worse than me or slightly better than me or way better than me. I'm like, yo, like, can you beat this person though? And so this server was also a way for me to kind of incorporate that into my life. And so, like, by running tournaments, I also get to see stuff like that on on like a monthly or a bi-monthly, or however often I run a tournament, I get to see stuff like that, like, normally. And so that's like actually really fucking cool. But let me see, where was I? Yeah, so I started doing that, and I realized that I lost my train of thought, so I have to get it back. Give me a second. So yeah, I started doing the tournaments because I wanted to kind of see how people played against each other, and I started finding out more things, because these people, of course, they knew people, and they were like, you mind if we invite these people? So I ended up, getting a bunch more people on my server than originally like planned. But some of these people like are very, very cool. So it is what it is.
That's always the funny part that I find about going from game to game is being surprised by who just happens to know who.
Man, yeah. There's a lot of times that people have been invited to the server, and they're like, "Yo, such and such is in here." They're like, "Yo, I didn't know I knew you, yada yada," and shit like that. And sometimes there's even been people who didn't know that it was me because my name on PlayStation and my name on in the server are different, and so they're like, "Yo, that was you that I played." I'm like, "Yeah, brother, that was me." But it's funny that you didn't even realize. But I believe that's mostly how the server got started. There's been a few people that have been like really, really helpful, whether that be in modding or running tournaments or even just creating stuff. I met one of these guys, his name's Karima, and I met him in a Guilty Gear server because I was playing Guilty Gear for a while.
Hmm.
And he had like a big falling out with them for some reason. And so I was like, I don't really know what happened, but like I've seen you play and I know you're good as fuck at the game. And so like whatever you guys did, like we're not doing that on my server, basically. Like I don't do all that shit. But like you want to join it, you know? And he was like, yeah, I've also like, you know, he's like a really, really good player. And he's like, yeah, I've helped like players learn shit. I make graphics and shit, like so I can also help you in these aspects when you want to, you know, run your tournaments and shit and do this and even have like a logo for the server. Like he's like created a lot of small little things on the server, but it's like very appreciated. And so you know he joined and he's done some cool stuff for me. I believe another cool member that I met on Uni, again, I've met quite a few of these people on Uni, was Hex Arrow. Now, I think you've played Hex Arrow before. They go to like Jaden's tournaments. I've seen them. I think they might have been in one of your Tavern Tussles, but I'm not sure about that one. But
I think so. I know which one you're talking about, the Lene player.
mhm. They honestly just help by being like fucking like being fucking awesome. Like every game they play, like they're like at least decent to fucking like being good and kind of scary. And so, you know, every time I see them, I'm like, damn, like if their opponent's not on some shit, like this about to be might be scary for you, man. And so I just really like appreciate them for just like playing in so much in the server. And I remember when I originally met them actually. And hold on, give me 1 second.
Sure.
But I remember when I originally met them. And I don't even remember if I actually. No, I think I did win the first time we played, but they're like really good. I think they only just like got Nalos checked really hard by Carmine because you know he's ironically not a character you see a lot, even though like I feel like that's weird personally. But
That's a weird niche in a lot of games. It's like where it's that one character that is good or real is bad, but what also gives them the edge is knowledge check. How often are they played for as good as they are, or as odd as they are, or as bad as they may be? It's a sometimes a niche character in a wealthy game is a really great character in its own right because the matchup works in his favor every time.
yeah, and I think that's what happened like a lot for the first few times we played because I really didn't realize like there's not Carmine players like everywhere, and I feel like I said again, I feel like there should be, but like I guess I understand why not, but
Hmm.
yeah, so I just appreciate them for being fucking dope and playing in like most of my tournaments. Um, already talked about a lot of. I already talked about him a little bit, but also really like appreciate Melon in there because not only does he like play in most of the tournaments like Hex, I think he's the only person who's played in more tournaments than them. He also helps me make the graphics as well. Um, he's just
Oh, is that how you and Sakai Melon met?
mhm. So
Oh, okay.
we met in uni. I want to say like 7 8 months ago, and yeah, we just I don't know, we've been cool ever since. Like I don't have any issues with him, and I found out that he played Grand Blue, and he's also really like pretty dope at Grand Blue, and he plays Near, which is like you know like a dead character these days. Like that character got fucking cooked, and you know he stuck it out. And he also like just play like I appreciate meeting people who play different fighting games, like not just like the one. Like it's so cool to see like you have like these skills in other fighting games. Like I don't know, because I just like I love fighting games, so it's cool to see like and know other people are like that.
Yeah. skills can transfer from game to game, and it's always nice to see and to take part in just people having that abundance of like anime tech knowledge that works in one game. You could probably take that to another game and get the same amount of economy in return.
Indeed. They're like,
That's
I don't know.
that's a nice story.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I could mention. I won't mention them all just because we could be here for a while. There's like quite a few people who I like really appreciate. But that's basically kind of how my server got started, and to this day we just rotate different game tournaments. Um, but you know that because you are helping me run Crimson Moon Iacon for Multi Blood.